Being a direct person and in the name of being frank and being direct, ladies and gentlemen, it is pointless to keep people who are negative in your life around you. It is pointless to continue your journey with those individuals because eventually they're going to take you down. Eventually, they're going to finish you off. Welcome back to my Dreams Reality Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Alpha Raw, and this is episode number 43. Of course, it is not written episode number 43. It is titled The People, the Ones We Keep Around Us. Whilst we're on this topic, let's all agree on one thing. We almost always have someone around us. Be it a spouse, be it a friend, be it an enemy, a roommate, an uncle, an aunt, a parent, a sibling. We almost have someone around us. But now, there's something that we keep a blind eye to, and that is that those people we keep around us, they affect and they shape our view of life. They shape our perception of many things. The way we view life, some people think life is a comedy. Some people think life is a tragedy. It all depends on the people you hang around with. And some people think life is not a journey worth riding. Some people say, well, life is a journey that you actually have to enjoy because, it's not about the beginning and the end. It's about the in-betweens. You'll be very fortunate if you come across those type of people because they are very few. This may actually sound like a sermon on a battle between good and evil, a battle between darkness and light. But of course, it may actually be that. The one thing that I've actually noticed is if you take a white garment and you take charcoal is black and the white garment is actually white. Let's say the white garment represents the light and then the charcoal represents the darkness. If you mix charcoal with the garments and you shake them up in a container and you pull them out, the charcoal is not going to be affected by the white garments. But the white garments are going to be affected by the charcoal. They're going to be black, dark, and you can tell they were affected. This is what happens when pure-hearted people come across people with disgusting, filthy hearts. If you hang around the broken, be careful, you may actually end up being a broken person yourself. People who hang around negative people, they end up being negative. You almost never find a person who was negative, who was converted to positivity by someone. It's rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it's rare. So if that is you, you have your friends, you have your siblings, and these people are not really positive people. I'm not saying go and say, well, we are no longer related. If they're your siblings, you cannot do that. But of course, you have to minimize and you have to reduce the amount of time you spend with these people, because the more you spend time with people who tell you can't do something, the more you are going to start to believe that what they're telling you is actually true. You can ask people who have gone through abuse, people who have stayed with evil. Allow me to say, this one. Man, how do I say this in a way that doesn't offend people? Well, I don't know. If someone is going to be offended, let them be offended. There are people who have stayed with relatives, be it an aunt, be it an uncle. Some were fortunate enough to stay with good relatives, people who are not evil, but there were some people who were unfortunate and they lived with people who were actually evil. And these people would constantly tell them that they are worth nothing, that they are not important, they are not going to do great things in life. At first, these people, they resist these words, these teachings they'll be told every single day. They will have these negative words yelled in their ear every day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, you name it, 24/7. It's almost like a military drill where they just walk into your room, switch on the lights, and they start yelling at you. And somehow you have to respond positively. But this is not a military base. You're a human being, a child actually at that time. Those people, they end up being traumatized And when you meet them in life, you can tell that this person is actually hopeless. They've given up on the positive side of life. They don't even believe there's such a thing as the positive side of life. And if they actually realize this earlier, or if someone actually points it out, and these people think and believe that that is actually true, they will eventually have to go for therapy and get help. That's when they start to realize that, hey, this person wasn't really telling me the truth. They just told me that I can't do anything important long enough for me to believe it. But this is not true. That's what happens when you hang around people who are not right for you, people who are counterproductive. They will convince you eventually that what you're doing is not important and you should come over to their side. And you will come over or go over to their side. You will turn a leaf. To your peril, of course, because you will go and perish. So it is in your best interest to keep people who are aligned with your vision, aligned with your dreams and your goals around you. Anyone who gives you a hard time, someone who's causing friction, someone who's suggesting things that you know are against what you believe in. Let's say you're a Christian, you don't drink alcohol, you don't sleep around, and you have someone in your friends group who's actually suggesting that you go to a nightclub on Friday night, you go and hook up with the prostitutes, you name it. There's no need for you to keep that friend around. Maybe you can keep them around, but you have to let them know that, hey, I don't do these type of things. I'm not judging you if you're doing it, but for me, I don't do these things. You can do them with other people who want to do them, but me, I'm not going to be doing them. If they try and guilt trip you and tell you that, hey, you're not being cool, you're not cool and all this stuff, you can tell them, it's okay, man, I'm not cool, but I'm not going to do this stuff. But if you are a person who does that stuff, no problem, you can actually go ahead and do it. I'm not judging anyone who's doing these things, by the way, guys. I'm just saying, if you're not into it, do not do it. And never, ever be convinced to do it if you are not that type of person. If that's not the way you want to live your life, do not do it. Because it will destroy you. It will end your dreams. And you don't want that. I've met people with broken dreams in my life. You can feel the negative energy a mile away from them, emanating from them. You can tell that, man, this person, something's wrong with this individual. I can't seem to tell what it is, but something's not right. And when you get to speak to them, if you push their buttons, the right buttons, they will tell you that, hey, I used to think I was going to be a pilot when I was a kid, when I was your age. I used to think I was going to be a doctor, but this and that happened, and here I am, not a doctor, not a pilot. And those people, they always look hopeless because they have given up. So I'm telling you, do not hang around the wrong people. And to top it up, I did an experiment at our farm. I took 2 of our newborn puppies. One of them, I made it live with the goats. The other one stayed with us in the main house. After a period of 1 month, I reunited the puppies. It was a good thing, by the way. We actually took pictures and everything. I think I should put up the pictures on the podcast so that people can actually see those 2 puppies. So I reunited the puppies, and I wanted to see the difference. Like, how is this one that stayed with the goats going to behave, and this one that stayed with us in the main house? Are they going to behave the same way, or is it going to be, different? And then, the results came almost immediately. I didn't even have to wait for like 30 minutes. The one that stayed with the goats was just all over the place. It was afraid of human beings. It would pee and poo everywhere. In the house, outside the house, in the corridor, in the veranda, everywhere. It would poo everywhere. And to top it up, there's one other thing that I can't seem to forget. It was peeing the same way a female goat pees. I don't know if it's called a she goat or what, but it was doing it the same way that goat does, when it's going for a number one. And then the one we kept in the main house, the second puppy, that one was a good boy. And by the way, both of them were male puppies. That one was a good boy. It never peed in the house, never pooped in the house. It was not afraid of people, even strangers, because we had trained it to not pee in the house, to not poo in the house, and to actually not be afraid of strangers. But the one that stay with the goats, of course, it will start behaving like goats. Goats are afraid of human beings. I don't know if your goats are not afraid of people, but the ones we have at our farm, they are those ones that are afraid of people. I don't know why, but that's just goats for you. Maybe it has to do with the mischief and the bad behavior those animals have. Who knows? I'm not an expert in the field, but the point is, if it can happen to dogs, it can also happen to people. I know someone like, oh, so you are comparing us to dogs now. I'm like, no, I'm comparing us to animals because we are also animals. Human beings are social creatures. The only thing that differentiates us from the animals is our high IQ and our social skills. Otherwise, we are also animals. We are alive. We reproduce, we poo, we go for number 1 and number 2. We do all these crazy things. So it is up to you. If you have people are negative, people who are actually counterproductive in your life, you know them. I'm not saying go and cut ties with your relatives. I'm just saying minimize the time you spend with those people. Because the more you hear them tell you that you cannot do it, you're going to start to believe it. And that's going to be the Achilles heel for you and your dreams. I wouldn't want that in my own life. I would prefer to be alone than to have negative people or people who tell me that I can't do it. Sometimes you won't even notice that these people are negative. You have to have someone actually point out and say, man, I don't think the group of people you're hanging around with are good for you. If someone has ever come to you and told you that, I think you should consider that and start looking into it and say, well, is it okay to be hanging around this girl? Is it okay for me to be hanging around this guy? If it's not okay, you know what to do. Cut them off. It's for your own good. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's segment. I sure hope you'll be cutting off people, a lot of people. I'm not saying go and cut ties with your relatives, your parents, or your siblings. I'm just saying if they are negative, spend less time with them. And try your best not to discuss your goals. Do not share your goals and your dreams with these people if they are negative. But if you're fortunate enough to come across those good people, those people who believe in anything being possible, as long as you put in effort, as long as you know you're going after it, you'll be very fortunate. But very few people are that fortunate in life. I have a group of people I used to hang around who were actually negative. And these people, any idea you bring up, they would argue that you should not do it. They will bring up all these amazing points that had to do with me not doing it. They will tell you, hey, you cannot afford to do that. You have never done that thing. It's not going to work out. Man, how are you going to deal with this? They always looked at the negative before they looked at the positive. And so I cut them off. Now I'm starting on a new, fresh page. And I've come across a few good people, positive people who actually told me that, man, you have a good thing here. I think you should keep working on it. It might actually work out. And I tell you, it did actually work out. I'll tell you on the next episode, of course. This is the My Dreams Reality Podcast. I'm your host, Alpha Ro. Be seeing you guys next time, where I'll get to tell you what it is that's working out. Okay, guys, I'm out.
Pachikuna dzidza kuzvipasando ndaneta nekusimbisa nekungofimbiswa, yeah. You say you know me, but you don't know my ndinositao kana kunyarara zinu ndinositao kana zehondo zinu ndinositao kana kunyarara zinu ndinositao